the desert of the real.
Welcome to the Desert of the Real. I am your host, Ryan Hutz. And join with me, as always, is your double/triple agent,
Jason Deeds. No, I was always just a double.
I know.
I fooled you. Ha ha ha.
The Desert of the Real is a movie podcast where I forced Jason to watch big blockbuster movies he's refused to watch because he didn't think they were worth his time. We're currently watching the Indiana Jones movies. We're here to ask if this movie has anything deep to say. We're two English language arts high school teachers with graduate degrees, and we attempt to use our academic training to dig deeply into movies. We explore the creativity, philosophy, film studies, and ethics in our films, and push you, the listener, to think critically about your entertainment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for making us a part of your day.
Yeah, or your week, depending on how long it takes you to listen to this episode.
Yeah, I mean,
It might be 10 minutes at a time. That's all you can handle.
you know, back when I was doing student teaching, I had a 30-minute drive each way. Got a lot of listening time.
Yeah.
In. Now my drive is just minutes, and it's not.
Yeah.
But I try to sneak in podcasts when I can. And sometimes you gotta break it up, and that's okay.
Yeah. My drive's a 45 one way, so I get a lot of books listened to.
Yeah.
Not too many podcasts, but
Have you had a good summer?
I've had
reading.
a magnificent summer of reading.
Nice.
It was really good.
I mean, we got a few weeks till school starts, but
True.
you know.
Yeah, we're on the downward slope here.
It's on the horizon at this point. we can see school
We
coming
get to
up.
come back, teach more students, and be taught.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, that's the true sign of intelligence, Deets.
What?
Well, in all, I don't know why I said it like I was setting up a joke.
I
But
don't either, because I was ready for that punchline.
I know, but I'm like, oh. I realized what I was about to say was actually my genuine answer is like a curious mind, being able to say, I don't know.
Yep, beginner's mind.
Yeah. Hey, we talked a lot about beginner's mind last week. I thought
Buddha.
The Others was a really good episode, if I'm being honest.
No?
Not every episode's a
gold star.
No, I take it back. Every episode's good. 5 stars. Give us 5 stars. If you haven't done so, give us a like or whatever on Spotify, on iTunes.
Especially now that you're past those first 6 episodes that we made.
Exactly. The first few are bad. We're a little better. We know kind of what we're doing to some degree.
Kind of.
Okay. Indiana Jones and the
Kingdom of the Crystal.
So it's just there's 2
prepositional phrases.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a long title. I actually Googled longest titles, and there's some ones that are kind of just so long because they're like a parody or something. But this is on that list. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's a mouthful. Okay, here's a fun thing. This came out in 2008. You know what else came out in 2008?
My son.
No way. Real life?
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
No, that's a lie. Never mind. You can cut that.
Actually, there's a few movies that came out in 2008, but a significant one because it kind of marked the beginning of a shift in Hollywood is Iron Man. The first movie we ever covered on this podcast.
Yes.
It should be noted also The Dark Knight came out in 2008.
Okay, there you go.
But the next 10 years of film is kind of trying to emulate Iron Man and The Dark Knight.
Probably more of The Dark Knight. Probably 80-20.
I remember seeing, not this movie, but Iron Man in theaters, and my uncle. So we were seeing it with my uncle and my grandpa, actually. And he said something like, I'm excited to see Iron Man, but I'm really excited to see that. And he pointed to a poster for this movie. Because it's been...
It is better than Iron Man.
I don't know.
I will say that.
Everyone would agree. So the last Indy movie came out in 89. So it's, it's
20 years later.
Yeah.
Why do we need another movie? We don't.
We don't. But
we don't.
But we have one now, and that's why we're here on this podcast to talk about.
Especially one with Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
We really don't.
Hot stuff in the aughts,
Never.
the early 2000s. In fact, Steven Spielberg and Shia had a lot of things. Spielberg thought Shia LaBeouf was going to be like the next movie star.
Well, he was wrong.
I forget what movie was the first one, but like Spielberg produced a couple of Shia LaBeouf standalones. Spielberg produces all the Transformers movies. And like when they were making this movie, or afterwards mostly, Shia would say some things that were against Spielberg, against Harrison Ford, against like kind of this movie.
For real?
Yeah, and like I think they basically had a falling out. But also Shia LaBeouf, do you know anything about his life?
Should I?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
He just is interesting because he pops up in the news every now and then, or he used to a lot, by doing something kind of crazy. He kind of, I think, saw himself as
center of the universe.
Maybe like an artist with like big things to say. Let me do these experimental stuff, basically.
Okay.
Needless to say, after around this time, he stopped being in a lot of movies
Because they realized he can't act that well.
Yeah,
or
and
he's kind of annoying.
Allegedly, there's some quote where Spielberg said to him, "Hey, this is selling cars." Allegedly, something like that was said, and Shia got really mad. He's like, "I don't want to be the next Tom Hanks," you know? Something like that.
Why not?
So there was kind of a falling out after these three, but...
I don't want to be the next Tom Hanks, huh?
Yeah.
One of the most beloved actors of all time. Yeah, that would suck.
I actually don't think Shia's awful in this, but...
He just annoys me a lot.
I can see that.
I mean, I don't dislike him. He just... Yeah. He's kind of Tom Cruise-y in his attitude. Like, I am God's gift to whatever it is that I'm doing. And that just annoys me.
I don't want to unpack that Tom Cruise argument here, but I recommended a movie to you that I know you would at least find interesting, but you're not going to watch it because it has Tom Cruise.
I will watch it someday.
All right. So here's the thing. Indiana Jones franchise is basically not just Steven Spielberg's and George Lucas's, it's also Harrison Ford's baby. They all three kind of have to come together.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's interesting is the next one, the fifth one, Spielberg's not directing. George Lucas didn't write it. I don't even think Lucas produced it. So it's kind of just Harrison Ford.
How did it get made?
We'll probably look into it afterwards. Spielberg was going to make it and then stepped away from the director role. But I'm pretty sure he was still hands-on a lot behind the scenes. However, George Lucas was adamant that this one should be about aliens. And
it was.
Spielberg said no. I think kind of multiple times. Because he makes a lot of alien movies. Besides E.T., you have Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind.
The
third kind.
Did you ever build a mashed potato tower?
No. Actually, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of AI, artificial intelligence. Right. It's not technically aliens. They're advanced robots, but they look like aliens, if you remember that part.
Yeah.
But he's big in science fiction, obviously. Jurassic Park, Minority Report,
so
War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds. There is another explicitly alien thing. In fact, his next movie he's making in real life is an alien movie, which is exciting because he's kind of stepped away from big blockbusters in a way to kind of make movies like The Post or The Bridge of Spies. Movies that are well made and big with big stars, but maybe not as commercial.
No, blockbusters.
Right, exactly. Anyway, so he's like, I've done the alien thing. Lucas comes back and was like, they're not aliens. They're interdimensional beings.
Oh, is that why you said that last week?
Spielberg's like, fine, we'll do it.
They did it.
Here's a direct quote from Spielberg. I'm very obedient to the stories that George writes. I'll fight things I don't believe in, but ultimately, if George wants to bring interdimensional beings into Crystal Skull, I will do the best job I possibly can to acquit his idea and make him proud.
I think with what was there, he did do that. Like, with what was available in the script and the ideas, I feel like he did that.
Yeah, and we texted, I don't think this is the worst Indiana Jones movie.
No.
And I think when this movie came out and the years that followed, that's a big push that made people recontextualize Temple of Doom, basically.
As the worst movie.
Or the opposite. Because Because I think there was an argument made where it's like, now that we have 4, Temple of Doom, with all of the weirdness it is, at least it was being big and bold and weird, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull over there is just doing everything safe and not as interesting.
Yeah.
So I think some people learned to love Temple of Doom because of this one.
Oh.
But a lot of people did hate this. In fact, I remember years ago, there was some video I watched where it was a joke about time travel, and the script got burnt, and then when the time travelers got back to the present, it was like a peaceful, like, utopia type of thing. So there are a lot of people who do not like this movie at all. But I think, I mean, it helps Spielberg's the director. It is well made. It's not awful. It's kind of good. I think the worst thing about it is that it is just kind of in the middle okay territory.
Okay.
Like, I would give this 3 out of 5, I think.
Stars?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hot take. I texted you, I think this is better than the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
But most of the Indy isms in the film feel very contrived. Like very, we have to do this, or he has to say this, or do something like this, or whatever. It doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel like an Indy is responding naturally to anything, really.
Guess
in the movie. What?
I'm planning to talk about that.
Okay.
In the film studies part.
Okay.
You heard that right, folks. Buckle up for postmodernism. Woo! Everyone loves postmodernism.
We do.
It's the best.
And then, I mean, I know with the Raiders, I said, some of the scenes feel like they're ridiculous. In this one, I feel like all of them are. Like the motorcycle thing from beginning to end is just silly. Like he's like, and then the Jeep thing with Shia LaBeouf doing the splits between the 2 Jeeps, and what on earth were they thinking? That's just absurd.
If I were to look at the entire movie as a whole and narrow down, like, oh man, that Jeep scene is kind of
terrible.
It's terrible, but at the same time, it has, I think, great action beats, little moments within the action that are good. Nothing
like what?
Like,
name one.
Like, for example, how Indy is now on another truck. He punches Mac. Has to have a conversation. I think the idea of the sword fight is fun. It might go too long, and Shia LaBeouf getting hit with plants and stuff. All right, what are we doing now? But I think that
the skull just kind of bouncing from car to car.
Yeah, I mean, no,
conveniently landing in convenient locations.
That's kind of what makes it fun.
Stupid. Fun. Yes. Sorry.
To me, it looks awful. That's where
it looks terrible.
The CGI is just.
Well, for me, everything is terrible in that. Like, for example, I already mentioned this off mic to you. These Jeeps have machine guns mounted on their hoods.
Yeah.
What possible use could you have for a machine gun mounted on the hood?
To shoot things, Deets.
Do people routinely in war sit on the hoods of Jeeps to shoot things?
These aren't any type of Jeeps.
As far as I know,
these are boat Jeep things.
That's
a weird argument, in my opinion.
Have you ever seen in your life, outside of this film, a vehicle with a machine gun mounted on the hood?
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Vehicles with guns on
hoods.
This is
the tree cutting machine.
Okay, see, that's
absurd.
Yeah, that's where you can make a good argument.
But that's a steampunk machine, and if that was in a movie with other steampunk stuff, I would love it. I would be all in.
Okay, we got Jeeps with guns on the back.
Right.
Is that better for you?
Yeah, that's where they go, because people sit in the back of Jeeps to use machine guns in the backs of Jeeps. Okay, let's just move on.
Yeah, because
okay. Also,
but like the road making vehicle gets destroyed, and then there's still
the
then
blade
the chase starts.
Thing. The blades.
See, that's kind of fun.
No.
But the fact that there's a whole chase after the road maker is gone doesn't even make sense.
Silly. No. Silly.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has to be one of the least convincing bad guys I've ever seen.
Kate Blanchett.
I don't know who she is.
She's Galadriel from Lord of the Rings.
Great. She sucks as a bad guy. Okay, so the whole by the third-ish time that she was on the screen, I'm like, this is Natasha Badenoff. That's who she is. From Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh.
She's Natasha Badenoff. Everything that she's doing and saying is cartoony. It's ridiculous.
But
anyhow, I would not give this 3 stars.
What do you?
But it is better than Temple of Doom. Also, the selective magnetism of the skull drove me nuts the entire movie.
Because it's not consistent.
The whole movie
ever.
So all of the foundational pieces of this movie are bad.
It's so inconsistent, it's like they shouldn't have even done it at all.
Yeah, I don't even know why they did it other than so they could find it in the whole big anyhow.
Yeah.
Also, whatever they tried to do to Harrison Ford's face to make him look younger, I don't know what it was, but it took me out every time they did it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's this glowy thing that makes him look younger. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't look his age. He looks like... this is 5 years after the last one or whatever.
I don't know if I don't even know if I even understand what. I don't think they're doing that.
Same glow. It's the same thing they did to Leia in.
I don't think there's any face stuff going on,
pretty sure there is.
I think it's just not that.
Okay, well, I'll find.
I think they're letting him be older, basically.
I think they're not. But they are letting him be stupider. I did notice that, so that's good. Indiana Jones. So I'm assuming in Dial of Destiny he's going to be senile. He's going to be wandering around, wondering where he is.
Okay, Dial of Destiny might be an interesting trip, I guess, because we'll see.
This is a 1.5 star for me.
What was Temple of Doom?
Was 1 star because it was totally ridiculous. Anyhow.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Because we've talked about...
If you want to be a good archaeologist, get out of the library.
See, that's great.
Waka. Oh, my. Right.
That's a great part. He's just saying... Okay.
Okay. I'll be quiet.
Pick and choose your battles.
That's not a battle.
You should pick and choose better battles.
There's no battle here. This movie is not good.
Okay, all right. Okay, so here's... Let's back up.
Wait, what battles?
That just, for some reason, your nitpicks are like, what are you even talking about? At least to me. All right.
The fact that there's a machine gun mounted on the hood of a Jeep just so Natasha Badenoff can hold on to it and shoot them. That's the only reason it's there.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I mean.
Sorry.
Yeah. I should say it like this. Yeah, you're right. Why is that a problem? Okay. So let's back up a little bit here. The first 3 Indiana Jones films are kind of centered around a religious artifact.
Yes.
You talked about how Raiders, it's Judaism.
Oh, that's another one.
Temple of Doom is Hindu. And Last Crusade is Christianity.
Right.
And they're kind of a callback to like the pulpy action of stories of the 30s and 40s. People going in the jungle.
Sure.
And stuff. But now... in the story, it's in the 50s. This movie makes the leap to go to science fiction because that's where science fiction really takes off is the 50s.
Okay.
You looked at me like I didn't say it right.
No, that makes sense.
I think post World War II, I mean, historically, where the modern world, in quotes, kind of was introduced to like the horrors of everything that exists in the planet. And technology started to advance post-World War II because relatively things were peaceful now.
Yeah.
And so technology...
The specter of nuclear winter kept everyone in line.
Exactly. So even their stuff is happening, for the large part there's peace, and therefore technology advancement. Science fiction now... became popular. What's the world of tomorrow going to look like?
Yeah.
Space aliens became a big thing. If you take...
very large creatures of every kind became a thing.
Yeah, like giant ants and...
moths and rabbits.
Godzillas.
Yes.
Anyway, so this movie is kind of shifting from religious ideas to science fiction, kind of to keep in pace with
the
art
interesting.
of
That's really interesting.
of culture, basically.
I had not thought of that.
And I think that's intentional. That's like one of those George Lucas ideas type of thing. I will say, though, the movie kind of... The first thing you see in all Indiana Jones movies is the Paramount Mountain turning into a thing.
Yes,
and when this one turns into, like, the Prairie Dog Mound, it's like, oh, that's the worst one.
Yeah, it is the worst one.
However, and you might think this is a hot take, but I think this movie is a great and fun ride up until through that opening sequence. Like,
so it's fun until the opening sequence gets over.
After that, maybe that's where some of the flaws come through. Like them going in Area 51,
right.
The rocket thing, escaping the warehouse.
Basically everything until the end credits is kind of what you're talking about.
I think the fridge thing is good.
The fridge.
And up until maybe where Mutt comes in and like the bike chase you were saying, now things might not make as much sense or be as fast and exciting, I think.
So it's interesting that you brought up Iron Man earlier.
Okay.
Because I was going to bring this up with the fridge thing.
Okay, go on.
So one of the... Like, I was with Iron Man.
Yes.
Until he's...
Sorry, I don't even know what you're going to say.
Until he was flying out of the cave. He's like 50 feet in the air in his Iron Man suit that has no padding whatsoever. And he drops out of the sky. Nothing happens.
He's in a super suit. It protects.
But there's no padding. There's nothing.
I know.
Same thing here.
Yes.
If that actually happened in real life, you would open that up and it would be strawberry jelly with bones in it.
He's holding it tight, okay?
Ridiculous.
It is. It is. And
so
it's going
that's 5 minutes in. The first logical absurdity, and then it doesn't get any better than that.
I think.
For the rest of the movie.
Wait. And I'll get into this in more detail later. I think the fact that it is so ridiculous, and the movie itself plays it straight, allows us to accept it at face value. It's like, yeah, that's what type of movie this is. And I think there are ridiculous things in all three movies previous.
Yeah, and I mentioned that.
And it kind of fits into those things too. It's like, yeah, this is just a thing Indy can do and survive in this movie's world. And it's part of it all.
No, hold up. Okay, so in Raiders, the ridiculous things are like he can take infinity of punches.
Yeah, that's
right?
his superpower.
And like the tank thing where, everybody's face gets rubbed on the belt but his and whatever and all of that. That's or his little strap gets hooked on the exploded gun barrel. Those are the absurdities.
And Temple of Doom.
That's where we get a lot of it, like the train
like
ride,
Temple
whatever.
Of Doom-y that way.
Okay, but at no point in that is there something that happens like the fridge thing where you're like, no, that isn't like any. No, I won't say that.
We all understand a person would die.
Okay.
Or at least break every bone in their body.
Then?
But like I said, I think because the movie is giving it to us at face value and...
So if there'd been a laugh track after him walking out, that would have been different? We wouldn't have accepted it?
I don't know. You backed me into a corner.
Sorry. I'm just... If it's gonna be, I'll say it again. This is the main issue I have with the action genre as a whole, is the absurdity of it. This takes it to an extreme. Almost every piece of action in this film is absurd. It would never happen in the real world and whatever, and therefore, for me, anyway, I cannot accept this as an action movie. It takes me out.
I found the thing that I'm trying to quote, but here it is. But this idea of hyper reality, and it plays the fridge scene as parody. You're not wrong, but it invites the disbelief. But because it's played straight, is what makes us believe it, or just kind of accept it.
Is that Baudrillard?
I don't know.
The hyper real.
I mean, if it's
that's our namesake guy, our namesake philosopher. He created the Desert of the Real and focused on the hyperreal.
Did Baudrillard write that? No, but if it's probably from his teachings.
Yeah, it's very Baudrillardian.
Because, I mean, I think if you were to say to any Indiana Jones fan, hey, what are the craziest things in that movie, or in all of the movies? The fridge thing's in there, like the top 3.
Yeah, plus Shia LaBeouf being in it, that's got to be in the top 3.
Okay, here's the thing though. There's just Spielberg's genius mind behind the camera. Like during the teens are driving their little convertible in and out of all these army cars, and I think once again this point we're still like, this is good movie.
Yeah.
There's a shot where you see an army guy in his mirror, and then the camera goes into the back seat, and you see the teenagers drive away through the window. Like, that's an incredible shot. And it's just a thing that you don't even think about because you're watching a movie, but like, that's a Spielberg thing. Another example is, like, when Indy gets introduced in this movie, you see his hat.
Yeah.
The camera sees feet coming in. The camera looks at the silhouette. The camera follows the bad guy getting out of the car, and then we see Indiana Jones's face. So we have a close-up of an object, a medium shot of a silhouette, introduction to the bad guy, and then the hero shot of a close-up, all in one take. That's Spielberg being the best. Yeah. And those things are what really helped the movie in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Just Spielberg behind the camera.
Yeah, I'll take Spielberg with a bad script over a lot of almost all other directors with a good one. So yeah.
But like, you get the whole put your hands down, will you? You're embarrassing us, which I think is good. I love where he whips the thing, misses it. Dang, I thought that was closer. I just think all of this stuff is what I want from an Indiana Jones movie. And now he's older and he's got a fun old man run, which he has the entire time. And it's only like 10 times worse in the next movie where he's like 70 something in real life.
So you feel that, like, so you disagree with me, like that all of the Indiana Jones-isms are forced. There were 2 lines that I thought, okay, that works for me. I don't remember. He's getting questioned by the Russians, and they want something. He says, drop dead, and they punch him, and he says, I'm sorry. I meant drop dead, comrade. That's a good Indiana Jones. And then, like, at some point later, Shia LaBeouf's like, you're a teacher? And he says, part-time. That's a good line. Yeah.
You know what's going to frustrate you? This was like a main point for one of the Red Letter Media guys. If you watch the trailer for this movie, there's a different take of that line, and it is a lot better.
The trailer's version?
Yeah, he's like part-time, but in the trailer it's like part-time. You know, it's just slightly...
Oh, his delivery is different?
Yeah, it's just a minor thing you don't really care about, but since it's pointed out to me, I'm like, I would think about that every time. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's not as good as the other version we saw. But the line itself is...
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's good Indy.
Okay, but there are some things that are great because Indiana Jones is older now. Like, I forget what Mutt does. Hold on. Mutt does something and gives like a laugh, like how cool I am.
Yeah.
And Indy now gives him the look that his dad gave him from the last movie. I'm like,
I did see that.
That's
that was
good stuff. Yeah. Indy's become the old, grumpier man.
Yeah.
Now that he's got this younger guy with him. Yeah. It just mirrors the last one in a great way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I have 2 dumb things. I think the Ark of the Covenant joke in this one is dumb only because we got the same joke in the last movie.
Yeah.
Where Hilda's like, what's this? The Ark of the Covenant. Are you sure? Pretty sure. And then it's
just there.
It's just there.
I don't know. It's like I don't know.
And this is such a minor thing that it does not matter. But this is like the worst Wilhelm scream out of any movie.
Oh, I forgot to listen for it. Where is it?
It's when they're going through the library on the motorcycle. Just some student goes, "Ah!"
Oh.
And it's the Wilhelm scream. I mean, that does not matter at all.
Yeah, I didn't. So aside from those lines, there's one line that I thought was magnificent. It's a philosophical line. I don't remember who says it, but they say, how much of human life is lost in the waiting? And that's an awesome line. Like, how much of human life is wasted waiting for this thing to happen, or waiting for this to be over, or waiting for I loved that line because I believe in that philosophy. I believe in the be present, live now. Whatever it is you're going through, go through it. Experience it. Don't wish it away. Don't push it away. And so I love that line. I need to start writing down who says it, but
yeah, because I remember, I can't think of it too.
Yeah.
It might even be the villain.
yeah, I think it probably is the villain. That's a great line. I loved Marion
Yeah.
coming back.
Ah.
I loved it.
I wish she has more to do.
I do too.
But and here's the thing though, that for a long time this was the last Indiana Jones movie.
Right.
And I think them getting married at the end, it's a fantastic ending for Indy. Like riding into the sunset is great.
Yep.
But the best alternative is his next adventure is marriage.
Yeah.
I love that.
The woman.
Man, wait till you see what happens with that in the next one.
I guess I will have to wait. I also loved that he took his hat away from Shia. I was like, yes, you do not get to wear that hat.
So
suck.
There's a fun Mandela effect where a lot of people could have sworn that he said, "Nice try, kid." But it's not in there.
What does he say?
He doesn't say anything. He just takes the hat. But I also, because I was in middle school, but like, oh yeah, I could have sworn he said something, but that's one of those Mandela effect ones.
Smiles.
There was a chance though, probably if Shia didn't have a fallout, they might have made another one with Shia LaBeouf again.
He was clearly being set up to take the mantle.
And that really upset nerds.
That upset me when I saw it the first time. I was like, no way.
No one ever takes the hat from Indy.
Yep.
And now here we are, 2025, Disney's talking about rebooting it. And now it's like, who should be the next Indiana Jones? And I'm like, this is not James Bond. Yeah. This is a one-man thing.
Yeah, this is Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I mean, we're still going to get a new one, but...
Don't worry. Fortunately, we will be done.
We don't have to watch it for the podcast.
So there were two scenes in here that I actually liked a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't quicksand. It was...
what is it?
I don't remember what he said it was, but
the
that scene
fact that
with
he
the
stops
snake,
to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the snake, and he's like, why does it matter? Just pretend it's a rope. That scene was good.
That was the other moment when I was watching it this time, like, this movie's so funny.
Yeah.
It has...
That was a good one.
It's like, he's your son. And you let him drop out of school.
Yeah, there are some moments.
I mean, I was like, Dietz will be like, why would they have this moment? They're in the middle of a chase. But watching it, like, this is such a fun little, like, scene.
Because he's getting to know Marion again and all that. Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Because Harrison Ford has some great comedic timing. Like, he's a lot of fun in this one.
He is.
Just don't call it a snake.
Yeah. And then the other, like...
I think I can touch the bottom. Sorry, they're just... Yeah. It's so good.
That scene was excellent. That was a really good... and then the ants, I thought worked really, really well. I have a personal emotional connection to those ants because my first year teaching, when I was like flaming airplane heading to the ground kind of situation, we read... I was like, what am I pulled out one of my favorite short stories, which is called Leningen versus the Ants. We read it, and they were like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then we watched this, like, 15-minute documentary on those ants, the bullet ants.
Ooh.
And that was what finally got these kids to be like, okay, I guess he's not as bad as we thought. Let's stop giving him a hard time.
That's awesome.
So I love, and they called those ants the Spicy Boys. Apparently there was some petition on the internet to rename bullet ants the Spicy Boys, and so the rest of the year we had the Spicy Boys jokes.
That's so funny.
Anyhow, so I was like, yeah, I love those ants.
Do you still teach that story?
No.
I don't know it, if I'm being honest.
No, it's an older one, but it's really good. It's very compelling.
See, that's the fight. Like I
would
said,
recommend.
What's it called?
Leningen versus the Ants.
Huh.
It takes place in South America. There's these army of ants coming that are devouring everything, and Leningen owns this farm, and like it's kind of how he tried to defend it and whatever.
Interesting.
It's a very compelling story.
That's cool.
It's really well written. Anyhow.
See, that's every movie, Indy fights one big guy, and they all die in horrendous ways.
Right.
The airplane propeller.
Right.
The boat, the rock crusher thing.
Yeah.
The tank in Last Crusade. He rolled his eyes. And then this one, it's like the grossest one. This guy gets eaten by ants and dragged into their mound, basically.
When they dragged him into the mound, I was like, oh, okay, come on. But up until then,
That scene, my kids were kind of in the room, and they were kind of watching. And I was like, oh, we can't watch this part, though.
So there are some good stuff. And I really even though I didn't like the villain, I really like the idea of the power of the mind.
Okay, and because we've been talking about it in the last 3 movies and even the others, the idea that Indiana Jones would scoff at something he does understand doesn't make sense.
Right.
He's seen so many things.
Right, and that's,
And she...
Wait, are you having a logical issue with something in this film, Ryan?
I guess so, because, right away, it's supposed to seem ridiculous, but when she's like, I can read your mind, he laughs it off. But because of what we've been talking about with this series, it's like, no, anything could be a way to understand something. Yeah. And anyway, I thought of that when I was watching it.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I might be rubbing off on you.
But Indy should be open to things. He's seen people's hearts get ripped out. He's seen an old man that lived 700 years old.
Yeah. He's seen
guarding the Holy Grail.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
And he's like, aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's why it's a 1.5 star film. And when we get to the philosophy, that's what we're going to talk about, is the power of the mind. So that's all I've got.
Okay. You know what I've realized with this movie? A lot of all the Indiana Jones movies is apparently he just goes on. He's had adventures with so many people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, not just this one, it's like, we've been on lots of adventures together, Indy. Remember that time back in there?
Right.
It's like, Indy, how many people do you know? And
it's between 1932 and
like with this one alone with Mac,
right?
Ray Winstone. It's like they've had so many adventures. He has to be specific about the one he's trying to talk about.
Yeah.
But then it's like even the first one, him and Sala have been on adventures. Yeah. The beginning of Temple of Doom. There's Short Round, but then there's the other waiter that got shot at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, right.
And he's like, thanks for all the adventures, Indy. It's like, Indy.
really part-time.
Really?
I teach one class one day. Yeah.
He's also not a great archaeologist if you think about it.
Right. Destroys everything.
Right. I remember...
I had not thought of that.
I remember watching the first National Treasure movie, and they find the boat, which gives them a clue to the next thing. I remember my sister being like, that boat alone is a fantastic discovery by itself.
Yeah.
And in all of these movies, it's the same thing. Oh, look, here's a tomb underneath Venice. And it's like, here is a shield. This is a artifact. No, it's going to be destroyed. Let's not even go back to it ever at any point.
I had not thought of that.
And in this one, him and Mutt go in the catacombs or whatever. There's gold. There's conquistadors. There's all these things that, all of this is archaeologist gold mine.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. It's not the one thing I want.
Yeah.
Indy, you gotta be better at being an archaeologist, I think.
I just realized, what is the native people doing in this movie?
That makes zero sense. When they come out of the wall.
Or any part of those people. Why are they there? What are they doing? What are they protecting? They don't know. Nothing. I think they're just there because we have to have, a native something in the movie.
But it doesn't make sense that they come out of the wall. It's like, what, do they rebuild this wall every day?
Or are they just living in there waiting for someone to come through?
And we've talked about the previous movies, how it depicts the indigenous people. This is the worst one.
This is atrocious, honestly.
Like the first movie, the Egyptians are working, they're just backdrop.
Right.
And the second movie, like I said, even though it's not great, at least there are characters. Some are good, some are bad, and some are talking. I guess there's not really one in Last Crusade.
Well, I guess the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword doesn't really count.
But in this movie, they are there to be killed, and that's it.
Yep.
Nothing. Indy doesn't even care, or it feels like no one cares.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it was pretty problematic.
I mean, it's the one interesting thing is they use the religious artifact to get them to stop killing them, and then the bad guys use machine guns, so it's kind of like to show the different ways to get something done. Yeah. But at the end of the day, a bunch of people died, and it feels like no one cared. Yeah. Which is interesting. I looked at my notes. I found out who said the line. It wasn't the bad guy.
Oh.
How much of human life is lost in waiting? It was said by Oxford, who's played by William Hurt.
That's right.
He says it at the wedding. Because I looked up who says the quote? Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yeah, that's a great quote. Google's the philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yeah,
that's his quote.
And that's why the wedding ending is a legitimate ending. It's like, I'm not gonna wait anymore.
Yeah, he's waited 40 years or whatever, or I guess not 40, huh? 40 years our time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like 20-ish years Indiana Jones time. A few more things that I like or just noticed. They don't have the students making goo eyes because Indy's older. That's good. I think the greaser fight in the bar, we talked about the movie 1941.
Yeah.
There's a fight that's the exact same in that movie. Mm-hmm. But in this one, I think it's the better version, mostly because it's a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Just as ridiculous, but because it's so contained, it's that's kind of fun. The greasers versus the preppy boys or whatever.
Socias.
Yeah. And then I had to look up because the student, when they slide the motorcycle and it gently pushes the student up, he's like, "Hey, professor, I have a question about the reading." He asked about diffusionism. I had no idea what it was, so I looked it up, and I thought it might make an interesting tangent. Also, I found a subreddit about archaeology. There are some big opinions about stuff like this. Huh? It's like, I read one comment that was saying how, the fact that the movie says, whoever he suggests, it's basically saying the writer Wikipedia'd someone at the time, but if you look into it, it doesn't align with... And I'm like, all right, calm down.
I have a fellow out there, the fellow nitpicker, fellow logic.
But I read a book, I guess it was earlier this year. It's called The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, written by a paleontologist, obviously. And you get a good look into being a paleontologist's life in that. And there are some big egos in these scientific fields. Yeah, it's brutal to some degree. It's like those the rock stars of paleontology, rock stars of archaeology. They are there, and they're the best apparently. Don't offend them or question these ideas. But because I didn't know it, and why not? We're here. Yeah, diffusionism in archaeology is a theory suggesting that culture traits, ideas, and innovations spread from one society to another rather than developing independently. So they that makes it diffuse,
as
it
they
spreads
contact each other. And
it emphasizes the transmission of cultural elements through various means like migration, trade, or the influence of media. Essentially, diffusionism proposes that similarities between cultures are often due to the borrowing of practices and ideas from a common source. So it's the idea that ancient cultures have similarities because those things spread out.
Right.
Which makes sense.
So Rome being a modified version of Greece.
Right.
Their pantheon of gods. And,
yeah,
makes sense.
So the normative model, that's the other thing he suggests. It's the student asked about the normative model of culture, and then he says, no, read this other guy about diffusionism. He got out in the field type of thing. But the normative model basically says, from someone who wasn't taught it, how I can best explain it, it's just through use of Googling things. Is that fair?
The normative model is the Googling of
No. This is I am understanding it through Google.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't take a class about it. The normative theory assumes that each culture comprises a set of natural packages, typically termed cultural traits, that are subject to ideational transmission. So it's like, we can learn about this culture based on like a thing, basically, where it's basically not used anymore. There's some architect named Louis Binford. He critiqued the normative model for its focus on shared ideas and its inability to explain behavioral variation or the dynamic process of cultural change. They argued that it oversimplified culture and neglected the role of environmental factors and other influences on behavior. So, to the best of my ability, I might be a little wrong here. The normative model is like, you can understand this culture based on the things we see right now.
This package of ideas.
Yeah, where it's like, well, more complicated than that. What about how people trade and other things that influence the culture and the environment and stuff? Where the diffusionism is like all of these things are it's all like a blend of stuff. So I don't know. I mean,
that's cool.
I
didn't know any of that.
Me neither. And from what I'm gathering, the normative model is not used anymore, but it was big in the mid 1900s. They moved beyond the modern archaeological approaches often move beyond the simple normative model to consider more complex factors influencing culture, including social, economic, and environmental influences, as well as individual agency and variation within a culture. So I guess to sum it all up, older archaeologists made a lot of assumptions based on a little bit of data, where now we're more open to more data influencing cultures and stuff.
Cool.
Hope that tangent was worth it, because we paused it and literally, like, I had to look some. Anyway.
Anytime I learn something new is worth it.
Yeah. But that makes sense. I think, like, even if you look at just dinosaurs, how our understanding has grown the past 100 years, I think it's good to acknowledge things or ideas are outdated, and let's think about things differently.
Keep building,
Yeah, and also, cultures aren't simple, No. Okay, there's a great line when he first meets Ox, and he's out of his mind. He says the line, "You were never this interesting."
That was a good line.
Because even Shia LaBeouf's character, Mutt, was like, his stories were better than a warm glass of milk. You just get him talking, and he'll fall right to sleep.
Maybe it's cyclical.
I just have my last thing is just a question. How do you feel about the idea of their treasure being knowledge?
I love that. Yeah.
Do you like the alien?
In what way?
Just what do you feel about?
Visually, it looked great.
I think the alien skeleton looks really cool. Yeah. I think when it's the full alien, it's like, I guess that's. That's alien.
Our alien image.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting that they gave Natasha Badenoff what she asked for.
Yeah.
And like some of the facial expressions of the alien were interesting.
He like looks right into the camera, that one. He like basically only does one thing.
Yeah.
But she kind of explodes because of all the knowledge. Is that?
I don't know about that. That was one of the things I was gonna ask you about. Because that, like, the rapid acquisition of tons of knowledge happens in other films as well, and it's always bad.
Yeah.
Like, the result is always bad.
I guess they've set up a standard that the villain needs to die in the
right,
like face melting way possible, and that's kind of like her eyes burn out like General Grievous in Star Wars, Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. We do have like the Matrix but he's not getting tons all at once. It's just a specific skill or a specific concept. So there seems to be, or our, I guess, film's understanding of the acquisition of knowledge seems to be that we are not built to acquire massive amounts of knowledge very quickly. Mm-hmm. We have to get it piece by piece, and we have to have time to connect this new knowledge to our old knowledge. Otherwise, apparently our eyeballs melt and we explode or something. But I do think that's really interesting. I thought that was interesting that these aliens, these higher intellects, gave her what she asked for.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite parsed out why they would do that.
I think the idea is they've been waiting for the skull to come back.
Right.
Doesn't it say something? I feel like she said something that once you bring it back, you basically get what you ask for. Or am I just making that up?
Maybe
I made that all up.
I don't know. Anyhow, but that's an interesting idea that I haven't thought enough about to have an opinion on.
What if she didn't die? She just went on living.
Right.
Would that have been more interesting?
So there's a movie that is based on have you ever seen Lucy?
Oh, yeah. Lucy's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's based on a misunderstanding of
the brain.
What percentage of our brain, blah, blah, blah. But the same kind of thing happens to Scarlett Johansson's character. And in her case, she evolves.
Yeah, that movie, you think it's just going to stop at a certain point where it's like, oh, this is what you do with 100% of your brain.
Right.
And then it keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
And then it keeps going even more.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch Lucy just to see what the movie's interpretation of using 100% of your brain turns into.
Which is, that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, we use 100% of our brain, just not all at the same time. Anyhow. But I actually enjoyed Lucy. It was an interesting idea.
Yeah.
So, if you're interested in the end of this and what happens to that lady, that's another iteration of
something to check out.
If we get all the knowledge all at once, what happens?
Because other movies play with that misconception too.
Yeah.
I think Limitless does.
Yeah, it does.
And you watch Limitless, like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't have to memorize things. You see it and you know it type of thing. That's just, like you said, the brain doesn't work that way.
No,
but
not at all.
I think the idea is cool. Like, I want knowledge. That's her whole thing.
Yep.
She wants to understand. She wants to know.
Yep.
And that's what kills her in the end.
Yeah, too much, too quick.
Yeah. Too much. Stop. She did ask to stop.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, you asked for this.
Yeah, you get it.
So I bet there's a lesson there somewhere.
Aliens are evil. I don't know.
Aliens are evil is the answer. Stephen Hawking once said that he didn't say there were aliens, but he said if there were, they'd come to destroy.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe. Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think that it's like almost every movie about AI.
Yes.
The AI ends up destroying humanity or huge parts of humanity because it can see the bigger picture and it can see that the world and humanity and whatever would be better off if this change was made. Mm-hmm. To the people, it looks like it's terrible and horrible and whatever, but in the bigger picture, it probably is going to be amazing and great and whatever. I think that's how it would be if aliens ever showed up. They can see a bigger picture. We don't see it. We can't comprehend it. And so what they're doing will look evil or destructive or whatever. But I don't know. That's just an opinion. I obviously haven't met any aliens, but I do believe they are out there.
You know what? We've been been pushing off that conversation because, like I said, we've brought up like there's the Others episode. I said the guy that gets abducted by aliens. Why do we poo-poo them? Why do we say there's nothing there? But what are your thoughts on aliens, Dr. Beats?
I 100% believe in aliens. I think a disbelief in intelligent life out there somewhere in the universe is not a defensible position.
Because it's just so big?
It's so big, and it's so, I guess last episode I said I think it's very narcissistic of us to believe that we are the most intelligent thing in the universe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like you did with ghosts and cryptids, I did with aliens when I was younger. There is... I feel like there's a compelling amount of evidence... For aliens in what we've experienced on this planet. Yeah. And like I talked about last week, it's always the farmer in the middle of the field that has a kindergarten education that comes forward. But I think it's possible that more educated people have had these experiences and they just keep it under their hat because they don't want to lose credibility. They don't want to lose whatever.
You want to know someone who's had an alien, who said they saw an alien?
Who?
John Lennon. Okay,
was
keep
that
in mind.
before or after LSD? Because I think pretty much everyone that's done those drugs has seen an alien.
I just Googled famous people who have seen aliens. So keep this in mind. I've not done more research. Except for the John Lennon one, gets lumped in because it's like, why would he lie? And he just, in an interview, he said, I was
legit. Was it before or after?
It was after because he was living in New York City with Yoko Ono and stuff.
Okay.
He's like, I don't know. There's a thing by that skyscraper. Don't know what it is. And it's if you see the interview, it's not like him being like trying to be different. It's like, I don't know what this was. It was just a thing I saw. But according to this Google list, celebrities who have seen aliens and or UFOs: Muhammad Ali, Mick Jagger, David Bowie.
Okay.
We got.
So this is not adding to my argument.
Elvis Presley. That's what it was.
Oh my goodness.
But apparently, he might
all
even
famous drug users. Great.
Apparently, Miley Cyrus, Post Malone.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Are there any like professors of something or?
But you just made the argument, Deets.
I know, but all of those people like Ellis. Anyhow.
I mean, maybe that's all. Apparently, Jimmy Carter.
Okay, there we go.
Walter Cronkite.
All right, there we go.
Don't know who that is. Don't know who this is. Anyway, Olivia Newton-John.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not really looking into their stories.
Yeah, but I mean, like Mick Jagger and Miley Cyrus would fit into the farmer with. It's a different fit because we could explain it through drug use or, whatever. But yeah, anyhow. My answer is I believe.
You believe. I would say aliens are more believable than other supernatural things. Just because, like you said, space is so big. Who's to say? Do you think aliens look like aliens or do they look like people?
That I don't know. I don't have necessarily... I haven't... It would depend on how many processes of evolutionary processes there are. Does life in most science fiction movies or science fantasy like Star Wars, when we go somewhere else, life looks very different.
Yeah. See, there's the Star Trek aliens. They look like people.
Right.
Like 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes. And then there's the Star Wars aliens. Let's literally whatever you think of.
Right. And so Star Trek is science fiction.
Yeah.
And so if we make that distinction, then science fiction says, yeah, they would probably look similar to us because I guess in science fiction, there aren't multiple evolutionary paths for life to take. There's just the one, which is a really interesting idea. And if that's true, there have to be aliens, and there also have to be aliens that are smarter than us, because the idea that this planet is the first planet to take that evolutionary path is, that's very, very unlikely.
Okay, well, what about this? And this arguably could have come up in the later Marvel episodes, but what about the interdimensional beings? The space between spaces?
I don't know.
Are there multiple universes that you can travel through? Not multiple dimensions, what I really mean.
Yeah, I personally think, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I think we talked about the intelligence of, intelligences. Didn't we talk about that?
I don't remember, Deets. We've made a lot of these
cells,
episodes.
Yeah, we have at this point. Cells act intelligently. I'm pretty sure that we talked about this. Trees
we did.
act
not
intelligently.
Even that long ago.
Right. And so even that, of course there are gradations. Or if you even...
Because you brought up Men in Black.
Yeah, yes. But even if you go from our dimension, quote unquote, human dimension, down to animal dimension, that's a different reality.
Yeah.
It's a different experiential interaction with the world, or down to like bug level. Like we've got Bug's Life, like, and at the end of Bug's Life, it goes out and it's just this peaceful little place where this war had been going on and blah, 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 blah. And so, even in our experience, we can see, there are different levels of, or we could even think about tree time.
Tree time.
Yeah, like redwoods.
Mm-hmm. You cut the tree in half and...
Right. They live for hundreds of years.
And you can see, like, this is where a fire happened. This year, there's not a lot of water.
Like, if you go to the redwoods, there's a big thing, and it's like Columbus arrives in America. Like, that thing was alive that long.
That's so cool.
That's got to be... So the idea of dimensions... I guess it depends on what you... So we're totally speculative at this point in this podcast.
Mean, if Indiana Jones is going to give us interdimensional beings, we might as well get into
play
it.
with them. But I guess it would depend on what you mean by a dimension. But like that one stupid Marvel movie...
Was it Doctor Strange?
No, where they get really small.
Ant-Man 3. Ant-Man. That is one of the bad ones.
Yeah. That is, I think, entirely possible.
Yeah?
That there's an entire...
The quantum verse?
Right, the quantum verse. Or, I don't think it would be called that, but you can take that out. That's petty. But I think that's entirely possible. That on any atom, there's an entire... intelligent, I think that's completely possible.
This is a segue, but you reminded me of it, and the idea of Cthulhu being this interdimensional monster that's so big it can't even bother to think about us, and that's what drives people crazy. Right. There's this comedian, he was talking about that idea of like how in the book Cthulhu there's like a cult that worships it, and it's like, but if you saw like a bunch of ants going around in a circle, that would get your attention. You're like, what are these guys doing over here? Let me check that out. this idea of how do we get this other being so large that we're ants to it. Anyway.
I don't know. I believe in aliens. I believe 100% in the possibility of multiverse, or although it's now distasteful word to me because of Marvel. It
was done to death for a while there. Not just Marvel. I guess Marvel. Then there's the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
Rick and Morty's always in there.
What about you?
Do I believe in aliens?
You believe that they're more likely than others, but what about the interdimensionalness?
The problem with that question is it's so big. It's like, well, who knows? Maybe. Okay. Where it's like, this is the one We're in
the playground of ideas.
Fine.
Here.
No, I don't believe it, Deeds, to be contrary. Because that would suggest... What would that suggest? That there are more versions of me. I don't understand how... Well, I guess if there's infinity number of versions, but like... what?
Oh yeah, I don't know that part. Okay, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
That part, no.
Maybe
Yeah, I'm with you there.
But then again, if there's an infinity amount, it's like the dumb quote. This is probably where I guess there's that one quote. If you put an infinity number of monkeys on typewriters, one of them will type out Hamlet word for word. Right. I just don't. Maybe it's because my brain can't wrap around even the exercise of that metaphor, of infinity. It's just hard to believe, I guess, is where it boils down to. Is that boring? I guess that's boring.
It is hard to believe, but I think it is entirely possible.
There you go. Possible. Yeah. It's like McGilligan's Pool from Dr. Seuss. That's not...
Don't think I've ever even heard of it. Not at all.
Maybe there are multiple dimensions and space between spaces. Who knows?
Anything is possible.
Okay, so I don't believe I've done postmodernism on this podcast. Because if I'm being honest...
I don't know. We've done a lot of these.
I mean, maybe. Postmodernism is one of the lenses that I think is hardest to understand. And when I try to do it in some of my classes where it's like, it's how do you react to the text? Yeah. And texts, in this case and in all cases, it's the thing you're watching or reading. It could be a movie. When I say text, I mean the movie in this case.
Right.
How do you respond to the text? Another definition that I looked up says, postmodernism in film is defined by genre, hybridity. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Intertextuality, irony, and self-awareness. How does the movie interact with other movies in the genre? Movies, like referencing movies, cross-genre. But intertextuality is what I wanted to focus on, because that's not something everyone knows.
Yeah.
And I'm largely basing this on, there's a excellent YouTube video called Intertextuality by Nerd Writer, who's one of the best in the biz.
Cool.
But intertextuality is the relationship between texts. And text is shaped by another text. So arguably, your favorite book was influenced by a book the author read as a child, and those books were influenced by books written before that. Yeah. All of these texts are connected and intertextually, that's where it comes from. Yeah. And language works the same way. Language grows and evolves because it just does.
Yes, it does.
Is that fair to say?
Yep.
But intertextuality, it can point to genre conventions. So we're used to specific genres being in that genre because that's how genres have always worked. This is all postmodernism stuff.
Right.
So intertextuality points to those genre conventions, cultural and historical contexts, and influences. So, for example, if a movie comes out during the 80s and you can look at the economic world of the 80s, that might have influenced some of that movie. Yeah. That's intertextuality. Yep. If a movie comes out today, you can look at it and be like, oh, this is a reflection on the government or society today. It's the same thing. It's all about how the world around it and our understanding of the thing put it into the world. Yeah. So, for example, now movies will use intertextuality to trigger a response in the audience.
Yeah.
So, for example, Star Wars. When you see the Millennium Falcon in The Force Awakens, the intertextuality is assuming you know what the Millennium Falcon is and that you will get excited when you see it.
Yeah.
Or just we have a collective understanding of who Superman is and who Batman is. When Superman just came out with a brand new movie and you hear the classic theme song, the Nerd Writer said, is weaponizing intertextuality to get you to have an emotional response. Yeah. This isn't a thing out of nowhere. It came from a long history of stuff. Mm-hmm. Or Jurassic World. Did you know that was the highest grossing film that movie came out? And that in 2016 or 2015. And that came out the same year as an Avengers film. But I would argue the movie trailer for Jurassic World did magic because it tapped into just the right nostalgia buttons to get people to want to go see it. The music of the Jurassic Park films. So the intertextuality, once again, it's our collective understanding of all those things: the genre, culture, historical contexts, and influences. So with Indiana Jones, and the thing you brought up right at the beginning of the episode, it's is that something Indy has to say because of previous movies? Right. Or is it something that the character would just say type of thing? But because it is a movie, and we've seen the other Indiana Jones movies, it's is this just trying to get us to play into the nostalgia of our beloved character? However, Indy has already been doing this in older movies. There's the famous Indy pulls out his gun to shoot the sword fighter. Right. Classic Indy movement. In the next movie, two sword fighters jump up. He goes to reach for his gun. Classic Indy move. Oh, this is funny because we've seen the other movie. Right. So that's not a joke if you haven't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. Right. You know what I mean? And this will be especially...
But what you just talked about happened in Temple of Doom, which both of us agree is the worst one. Yeah. So I think you're making my point there. But
if I am laying this track of thought correctly, you're probably thinking well, how do you make something and not have it be connected to all of these things? Right. You can't.
Yep.
However, the problem is when this is a substitute for strong characters and good story. So is your character doing something because that's what they've always done, or that's what a hero in this situation would do? It probably might not be great. But
like Solo, for example.
Right, yeah. Like
the entirety of Solo is
Solo is to feed you that nostalgia goodness here. I'm maybe trying to set us up for next week when you watch Dial of Destiny for the first time, I watch it for the second time. It's like, oh, is this anything new, or is this all nostalgia bait type of thing? So another way to look at it with this movie, our expectations of genre, it's kind of a mixed thing. It's a pastiche. Deets. Because it's not just flying saucers and alien stuff. Like, we got Area 51, science fiction stuff. A flying saucer at the end. Mind control things. But there's also, like, jungle adventure in here. You just rolled your eyes.
You're right. There is.
There's also Cold War espionage stuff in here. So this movie, to its credit or not, it's like, here's the 50s, in a pre-packaged thing. All the 50s stuff we already know. And all in one adventure. I guess the jungle adventures maybe less. That's more like the Indiana Jones stuff we've already come to expect. But it's self-reference. Like you were saying at the beginning, like I'm trying to, I guess, I don't know if I've explained all of it accurately, but it's like this movie knows Indiana Jones.
Right.
That's intertextuality.
Yep. And so movies generally, sequels or whatever, generally use that as a shortcut.
Yes.
So I don't have to tell you this and this and this and this and this. I can bring in the hat and the whip. And that activates all of that. Yeah. It's a powerful tool when it's used well.
Right. It is. Because
this is not a good example of that.
Okay, Harrison Ford is redoing all of his classic things. He came back as Harrison Ford. He came back as Han Solo. He came back as, what's this movie? Indiana Jones. The other big example is Blade Runner, 2048, or whatever the number is.
Someday we'll see that.
A fan at one convention asked, is your plan to come back as all your characters? And he's like, absolutely. That's funny. I would argue Blade Runner...
But he's an actor that can do that.
Yeah. Blade Runner as a sequel, I think the whole movie is not just... It's not fan servicey. It's like a full-on, here is another great story in this world type of thing. As opposed to, hey, you remember this? Here's the thing we love. But I guess the problem is we like Indiana Jones, So it's like, do we give it a pass? Or is there enough new things in here that it actually works? Now he's the old guy. Now he's... I don't know, what else does he do that's new?
I think you've got the list there, which is why I don't think this movie works very well.
You're right, Deets. I guess, am I just trying to validate my thoughts about this movie? It's like, is it just because I like Indy? Or does it feel like there was enough that changed... to justify this existence, basically?
I don't think so, but you do, and that's okay.
I mean, I said I think this movie is okay.
Yeah. So intertextuality, like what you were just talking about, is the foundation of an entire genre of like parodies are built on intertextuality. And so, in my opinion, the best parodyist is Mel Brooks. Like if we look at Spaceballs, for example, the entire film is referencing things outside of the film. And yet the entire film works magnificently. That's how intertextuality, like conscious intertextuality, should be used.
That's the thing. Because Disney, as a industry, knows what they're doing, but they don't want it to look conscious, I think.
Yeah. And so when we think a movie doesn't work, like I don't think this movie works intertextually, it's because it's like the conscious intertextuality is not working. Yeah. It's like filling the role that we expect it to fill, rather than like in Robin Hood Men in Tights, as another really great example of this. It works because it's not trying to fill a role. It's just this is the world because of all of these texts. Airplane to a lesser extent, or that one that you really like.
Top Secret?
Top Secret.
Top Secret's good.
To a lesser extent.
It's so good.
I think Mel Brooks is the best example of someone consciously using intertextuality to create a film. So just throwing that out.
In fact, did you watch the trailer?
Blazing Saddles is another example. Yes, I did.
The trailer for Spaceballs 2, where at the end of the movie, at the end of the trailer, what does he say?
The movie nobody wanted. So rather than making,
the movie, we made this, which I think
no one wanted. Yeah.
It better be called The Quest for More Money.
Cool.
Because, I guess, it's unavoidable because that's how art is,
right,
and has always been.
Yep.
But how you use it is what the difference there.
Yeah, I think we dislike. I dislike obvious conscious intertextuality.
Yeah.
It feels forced and contrived and unnatural. But as you say, film is no art, or maybe even life is not possible without intertextuality.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how you choose to do it.
The alternative is like avant-garde stuff, where it's like, no one's seen this before.
But even that is intertextual because it's pushing against. Like if there was nothing for it to push against, it wouldn't.
That's a good point.
It wouldn't be there.
That's a good point.
So,
yeah,
I agree with you that there isn't. It's not possible with. And so that makes the study of intertextuality very interesting. And so I don't mind postmodernism as much as some of the others. I would never try to teach it.
That's the thing.
It's very difficult to do.
You have to understand things like genre, the context of when the thing was made, and like the influences of the thing that was made, that type of stuff. Yeah. On top of that, postmodern is like, well, then how did you react to it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the reader response stuff, I don't find very valuable because it makes everything meaningless.
Yeah.
If everything means whatever you think it means, then nothing means anything.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a postmodern stance.
Yep.
That I don't agree with.
Yeah.
The intertextuality part of postmodernism was a lot of fun. So, philosophically, in addition to the quote I already mentioned, this idea plays a lot with like what is the power of the human mind. And so one of my favorite philosophers is named James Allen. He didn't actually write a book. He wrote a bunch of stuff that got put together in a collection called As a Man Thinketh.
Okay, I've heard of that.
I think that he was a genius.
Yeah.
And one of the core metaphors in James Allen is the idea of our minds as a garden. And whatever it is that we plant in our minds grows and becomes our reality. So he very much believes that we create the world that we live in because of what we allow to stay in the garden of our minds. And so
like your thoughts become your words.
Right.
Is that similar?
Yes. That whole cliche or truism comes, I think, out of James Allen.
Okay.
But like I'm more interested in the conscious use of this idea of a garden. Like we as a people, especially to bring my favorite whipping boy back, especially since the advent of social media, are increasingly content to let whatever grows there grow. And so we are going to end up, if we allow that to happen, to be just this like directionless, powerless species. James Allen suggests that we should be actively cultivating the garden of our minds. And whatever it is that we want in there, we put in there. And whatever we don't want to become in our lives, we get out of the garden of our minds, because if it's not in there, it can't grow. So weeding the garden, planting ideas, planting behaviors, planting habits, planting whatever, we can be, James Allen would say, the active creators of the world that we experience. And I think that's 100% true and 2 incredibly powerful.
For the sake of our listeners, they're testing
fire
out the
alarm
fire
system.
alarm.
So
We got kicked out of the school.
we've had a change of venue and a change of mic.
We're at my house now.
Hopefully we're still all good.
Yeah, so everything changed. That's why we sound different.
So that's James Allen in a nutshell. If we, like, he would say that we have to take conscious control of the gardens of our minds. And I agree. Like, that's a huge, like, a foundational concept for me as a teacher, as a human being. Conscious control.
Here's the thing it's one that ties into Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because knowledge is their treasure.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and the thing is, I see this in me, is we don't do that. That thing you're saying is really important. I don't want it to seem like this is the problem with today's, because this is also my problem, and I'm being open and honest with you, Deeds. Yeah. I don't like to not have something, so I have to think about things. Meaning, like, I want to be plugged in at all times, because sometimes, when that's not the case, it's easy to either think about things that stress you out or even get sad to some degree. Mm-hmm. And this is me.
We don't want to be sad.
We don't want to be sad, or it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm pushing things off that I gotta deal with. Or the other justification is I don't get a lot of me time, maybe, and maybe I want to listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video, or, you know, or do something that I can while I have free time.
James Allen is like I don't know, 70 years before social media and everything. I don't think that he would say don't do any of those things. I think he would say, you know, do whatever it is that you're doing consciously.
But I guess we're filling our time up, our minds up with literally anything.
Yep.
Instead of doing what you just said.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
What's the problem going to be?
Well, I mean, if we stick with James Allen's metaphor, what would that garden yield? If we just
funny memes,
let whatever grow, whatever happens to be the seed that blows in.
Yeah. So, okay, here, I recently watched a movie. I texted you and you did not text back, which was very rude. It's from 99.
You should know by now.
There's a movie called The Insider.
Okay.
With Russell Crowe.
Okay.
It's about, he worked for a big tobacco company, recently fired, and a reporter gets in contact with him. It's like, oh, the plot doesn't matter. But the thing that struck me is it's all based around this big, like, piece that these companies did not want out type of thing.
Right.
And here's like the scoop on 60 Minutes type of thing.
Right.
We used to be a society, as far back as the 90s at least, when there was a big news story, we were all in on it. Like, we all saw it at the same time. Yep. Everyone watched the same news channels or read the newspapers. And now it's not like that.
No.
Like, if there was a big story that came out similar to the one in The Insider, it might not even really matter anymore. Right. Because there's so much news, there's so much content, including this. And we're happy you're here listening to this content. Give it a thumbs up.
This is not the content that we're talking about.
Everything outside of this podcast. But to the same degrees, how do you fit in podcasts? How do you fit in reading? How do you fit in playing a video game? How do you fit in watching a movie?
Consciously.
So, walk us through how do we do this health?
You choose.
I choose to waste my time.
No, you choose what goes. This is James Allen.
Yeah.
You choose what goes into the garden. I will say, James Allen would probably say, thou shalt not scroll fill in the blank social media.
Is that how he talked? He's like, thou shalt.
No, but that would be a thing that he would say, yeah, don't do that. Instead, like, you can do kind of the same thing consciously by choosing, I want to go down this rabbit hole, for example. Like, going down a rabbit hole would be a James Allen-y thing to do, as long as
knowledge?
As long as you chose the rabbit hole. So it's just about consciously making choices rather than allowing yourself to be acted upon by, in this case, social media.
Would you say, just research and also being with teenagers all day, every day, that is not happening? It
is not happening as a whole in our entire society, but I do see it happening all the time.
Okay.
Just
like individually?
Individual, right. So as a whole, this is James Allen's nightmare that we're living in right now. But individually, I see all the time. We do teach different groups of students, but I see all the time conscious choice. I will also say that James Allen would acknowledge that there are no weedless gardens. Like weeds are a part of being in reality, in life. There's no way to avoid them. It's what you do with the weed.
Sometimes I'll ask students, what's your screen time? Like,
right.
Because whatever we're reading or whatever. And some numbers are shocking, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
If not more. And it's like, this is dumb because it comes from a TikTok that was a joke. But it was like, hey, you win $1 million. You were on TikTok all day yesterday. It's like, yes. If you can tell me any TikTok you watched yesterday, you win the big prize. It's like, you know? It's just mindless.
Yes.
That...
Yes. So the mindless garden is the untended garden, the unconscious garden. Just whatever grows here is what grows here. That's what he does not want.
But what was the garden of his day? Like, it surely wasn't bad by today's standards, you know?
There are always people that don't consciously, like, you don't have to have TikTok to have a weed-filled garden.
That's a good point.
Like at any point in human history, fairly confident there were conscious actors, and then there's a whole bunch of actees, people that are just acted upon by nature or by society or social ideas or like any of that. We just live in a world where it's very easy to pinpoint this is the main source of weeds.
Yeah. And
that's not to say people like me don't have weeds. I have scrolled, I think, 3 times in my life. Like, for real, gotten just mindlessly scrolling. I don't like it. Like, I don't like surrendering control of my mind to anything or anyone. That's why I can't imagine ever doing LSD or getting drunk or
it's
whatever.
It's like scrolling with no phone. You just look around.
Because I will not voluntarily allow other people to write my mind.
And, okay, I guess that's kind of what I worry about for society as well. Like, once again, not individual, but I see just the sheer number. Written. Like, if you look at numbers of hours spent or time consumed or money, it's all this stuff. Terrifying.
Like, legitimately terrifying. Because I'll tell you why I think it's terrifying, because there is a conscious mind behind that. Yeah. The creation of that, the dissemination of that, and it's wildly successful. And so we're turning ourselves over to whoever that is driving all of this. We're turning our minds over to them. So it's like the Monsanto of real life. The seed company. Oh, you don't know?
I don't know.
Oh. There's a good conspiracy theory for you. Ooh. But Monsanto is the biggest seed company on the planet.
Seed?
Like plants.
Okay.
They genetically engineer plants. Huh. And if your plant that you planted gets pollinated by a Monsanto pollen plant, it technically now belongs to Monsanto.
What? I don't know anything.
So they're like it's conceivable in the future there will be no food grown that is not genetically engineered Monsanto food. So it's like that. So TikTok is like the Monsanto for our minds.
Yeah. And it's TikTok or anything like
Insta, whatever.
Here's the thing. I literally said last night, my wife was like, "Hey, can I see your phone for a second?" I don't know. She's gonna look at something. I'm like, I can't. I have to go to the bathroom. What do you want me to do? Sit there with not?
Wow. Okay, We need an intervention here, Ryan.
No, but I think... Okay, yeah, that's bad. But I also think... I think that's the norm now. But like we've talked about, we don't allow our brains to be bored. We need to be plugged in.
And that's actually another James Allen thing, but we don't have to.
We don't have time.
Like the power of boredom, the value of boredom is immense. Go be bored.
Like, okay, be like the aliens in this movie. Let's have knowledge be your treasure.
Yeah.
Read a nonfiction book.
Or read
any book. Actually, if you read a book, any book that 50% of adults will read a book in America. That's
in a year?
In 1 year, one book.
Man.
Yeah.
We're screwed.
That's how low the bar is. If you read one book, that puts you above the 50 percentile of American adults that will have read a book.
Wow.
Anyway.
I didn't want to know that stat. Actually, that's
that's
depressing.
I tell my students that to kind of motivate them. It's like, if you read this, there will always be kids that won't read it, but it's like, it will put you above 50% of American adults who will read one book. Anyway, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a mixed bag. Deeds did not like it. I think it's okay.
It's better than Temple, but
yeah.
That's not saying a whole lot.
And we are going to get into next week the last Indiana Jones before, I guess, someone else is Indy. The Dial of Destiny. Another almost 15-year gap in between movies. We'll see what you think. I'm already making predictions of what you will think about it.
Okay.
We'll see if it has anything to say.
All right.
We love you.
We do love you. Thanks for listening.
Think critically.
And, think consciously. Plant your garden.
Bye.